And the Joey Jones Show continues from Mugshots Grill and Bar on Airport Boulevard. Time to zero in on that Georgia State defense, and that's who we'll be facing today in the Georgia Dome. And Coach, let's talk about the kind of scheme that they run. What is it?
Well, they're an odd front scheme, and without getting too deep into it, they have a good bit of movement up front. Not as much as ULM. ULM was, guys were falling out of the trees on defense.
Right.
Seemed like, and our offensive line coaches had to get together and really come up with a great scheme against them. But this is more of we kind of know where they're going to be, but they're coached really well. They do a good job and get to the football and play some man coverage, and so they're gonna challenge you for sure.
And on their best day, they've given up 24 points, so there are going to be some opportunities for us offensively.
Well, I hope so, and I don't worry about what's happened with them in the past. I worry about what we do, and if we do what we're supposed to do, then we'll do well.
And always critical to take care of the football, but when you have those opportunities, I mean, it's especially important today to just take control of the football, which we've been doing a pretty good job of lately.
Yeah, we've really taken care of the ball, and hopefully we can create some turnovers, get the ball back to us on offense some too. And but yeah, that's critical to control the football, control the game early. I think it's a game like this where they got senior day, they'll be excited, and I think we need to come out and play really well early.
And we talked about the turnovers, how that's improved this year. Talk about the penalties as well. That's been a drastic improvement for us.
Yeah, we're second in the league in the least amount of penalties, and second in the country in fumbles, least amount of fumbles, and so I think third overall, tied for third. Tied for 10th and overall in the country in overall turnovers. So
wow.
It's a much improved team we have this year, and we're just doing a lot better offensively for sure.
Well, a guy that's been studying that Georgia State defense all week is offensive coordinator Robert Matthews, joining us here on the Joey Jones Show. Coach, appreciate the time as always. And let's assess our offensive performance, specifically say in the last 3 or 4 games.
I think that we've continued to be productive. The Navy game in the second half, we missed opportunities and let that game slip away from us. And so last week against ULM, it was important that we come back and play a complete game, which we did for the most part. And that's going to be important for us to do again today.
Let's go back to the beginning. Is there anything that surprised you, say something that has been better than you thought it might be at this stage of the game?
Well, I think that, you always set your expectations high, so, hopefully nothing has surprised us. But, our quarterback play has been good, and, Ross has done a good job, Brandon's done a good job, and so, you go with your quarterback. Any team in college football that's successful has a quarterback that's playing well, and we're fortunate that we do have that.
What are some of the things you say, because you always have it as a coach, we need to keep working on this, we need to get better right here? What would that be?
I think each week it's about execution. Every defense is a little bit different in what they do, but our scheme should fit up whatever they do, so it's about focusing on your job and making sure our guys execute, to the highest level. It comes down to blocking, to running, to throwing, to catching. And it sounds simple. It's like Bull Durham. It's a simple game, but it really is. And if we do those things well, then we'll be successful.
Coach, same to you. Assess the offense specifically lately, because we've always talked about the potential it has, and we've seen it.
Yeah, we just clicked a lot better this year, and I think a lot of it has to do with what Coach Matthews was talking about. It starts with your quarterback play, then it starts up front. Our guys are blocking much better up front. We got older guys, and they're doing a great job coaching them, and we got some big play receivers and running backs. So it's really not just one thing. And then it comes back to turnovers. We've had the turnovers we had last year, so we just really improved in all areas.
Coach, tell us about some of the characters on this team. They seem to have a lot of fun out there.
Personalities,
Yes.
Our guys do have some fun. Everyone is kind of looking at Ross's crazy end zone dance.
Right.
And where he came up with that, I have no idea.
You didn't teach him that, did you?
No, I promise you. I'm not a good dancer, but I'm better than that. And the guys just enjoy playing together. And it's really hard what we do. We ask them to do so much. And I think it's important that they do have a good time out there, to the limits. Obviously, we don't want to disrespect the game, but I think our guys do a good job of having fun, of celebrating together, when things go well. Well,
and it seems like a loose bunch, and especially offensively, that's got to be important because you got to be comfortable with what you're doing. If you're stiff and you're rigid, and that's going to be tough to move the football, don't you think?
I think there's a fine line between being loose and still having that mental intensity that you need to execute. There's a difference between being loose and being silly, and being loose and being confident.
Right.
So, we want to be loose and be confident.
All right, so Georgia State today, you look at them defensively. What do you see from those guys?
I think they're a team that runs pretty well. They're long up front. Their defensive line, their defensive ends are 6'4", 6'5", and they're a lot of lateral movement type stuff. Their linebackers run well. It's a challenge for us. They do a lot of different things from a movement standpoint. You know, so our guys up front, you know, really have to be able to be on top of their game and identify things well.
Yeah, and what do we need to do? Can we pass the ball on these guys? Are they vulnerable against the run? Where do you see some weaknesses there?
Well, I think you got to do both. You know, our goal is to be balanced, and I think we have. I mean, there are certain things that we can do in the run game, and we have to be able to hit them, and there are certain things we can do in the pass game. We have to be able to hit them. We can't be one-dimensional today. We have to stay balanced and attack them in both areas.
I talk with Coach all the time about complete games. How close do you think we've been to a complete game?
You know, it's hard to say. You know, I think that some games are better than others. You know, we haven't played a perfect game yet, so you know that's always what you strive to do is to play a perfect game. But our guys are playing more consistent. You know, last week was a pretty solid game all the way around, offense, defense, special teams versus ULM. So we need to get that same kind of performance today.
All right, true coach though, is it possible to have that perfect game? You're going to find something, right?
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. You know, I don't think anyone's ever played a perfect game. It's kind of like golf. You know, you shoot 59, but you could have shot 58.
Right.
So
you left a couple putts out there.
That's exactly right.
Okay, well, good stuff, Coach. We always appreciate the time, man.
Thank you.
Go get them today. All right,
Okay.
coming up, we'll take a look at the Sun Belt Conference. Specifically, we'll look at Georgia State and show you what they did last week because they went into Jonesboro, Arkansas, and gave those guys a scare. We'll do that, and we'll look at today's conference schedule when we get back on the Joey Jones Show from Mugshots Grill and Bar.